What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Matthew Moreno, here to talk Clayton Kershaw and an injury update, but maybe not the type of injury update you were expecting to hear. He made his first rehab appearance last week, Matt, for Rancho. 3 innings, 1 earned, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk across 37 pitches. Worth pointing out, the 1 walk was an intentional one where he basically intentionally violated the pitch clock for pitch count reasons, whatever. But all the things were headed in the right direction. Expected to make his second appearance at the AAA level in Reno tomorrow. And then some soreness popped up. Here's what Dave Roberts had to say. Quote, "I know there was a little bit of soreness after his last outing, so we'll see what that means going forward. It's going to be see how he feels. For me, it's going to be talking to him, talking to the training staff, making sure he feels good to make it. He was expected to play catch yesterday. We haven't heard how that went. So what do you make of both Kershaw's rehab start and then also the fact that there's some lingering soreness that might delay his second one?"
So first, I was surprised that he got into his rehab start this quickly. I think I didn't anticipate this happening really until like July-ish. So I mean, we're sort of close to it, but I thought he was going to be, at least 10 days from making his first rehab start, and then sort of how long that would be. Would probably spend a month out on a minor league rehab assignment, come back then in August. Like that's kind of what was sort of suggested. Kershaw and the Dodgers have never like set any sort of timetable. And Dave Roberts, even when he was discussing Kershaw's shoulders soreness that he's experiencing, said again, like, I'm not going to put any sort of timeline on this just because we're not going to. Like, when he's ready, he's ready. We're not rushing it. So I thought, okay, credit to Kershaw for, kind of recovering from offseason surgery faster than I expected.
Yeah.
Then, with the Quakes, it was good, all things considered. He's not a guy who throws 95 anymore anyway. But there wasn't really a whole ton of rust that you would maybe have expected with it being his first. He did do some simulated game type thing, but that's not real. And as much as this is, a minor league game, it is a real game. It counts for the Quakes. Like those stats count for those players. And so this was Kershaw's first game since October. And I thought all things considered, it went well. Then they said his next start's going to come with Oklahoma City. And I thought, that's kind of quick to already be moving him up to AAA. Like maybe it's just the schedule. OKC is playing in Reno this week. And so it's a little bit closer. Get him, I guess, the higher competition to see maybe how things sort of go. But that surprised me. And then, yes, we got the report of some shoulder soreness, which look, every pitcher is sore after any start, right? Like that's normal. I think where there's reason to sort of pause everything and why the Dodgers are potentially doing that is because it is Clayton Kershaw, who is an older pitcher, who obviously closer to the end of his career than the beginning. And he is, of course, coming off the shoulder surgery. And so you want to make sure that you don't necessarily aggravate it. You don't cause an injury. And then, knock on wood, that there isn't necessarily an injury in there.
Yeah. So early in the day, the reports were, hey, he's going to pitch Tuesday in Reno and then Monday in Las Vegas. Both of those would be with Oklahoma City, and everything, again, seemingly on the right track. They said, hey, he's feeling a little soreness coming out of that, but he's going to throw a light bullpen on Saturday, play catch on Sunday, see what happens. Well, the bullpen, he experienced a little bit more soreness than that. And that's when everything sort of seemed to press pause. And to your point, as Dodgers fans, there's normalcy in there being soreness. It's almost to be expected that there might be a setback or two along the way, especially at this point. And so I'm not overly concerned, Matt, given what we know right now. Soreness sounds normal. Apparently he was fine enough to still throw a light bullpen. Again, we'll find out later today if he did end up playing catch yesterday and kind of whether or not he came out of that feeling good, whether or not, because it sounded like Saturday that Tuesday pitching in Reno was still on the table. We'll find out again today whether or not, when Dave Roberts talks, I'm sure we'll hear whether or not that's still the plan. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not overly concerned. Given what we know now, there's not a rush. We're not in September, and it's like, well, shoot, there's no time for a delay. There's plenty of time for a delay. He was already slightly ahead of schedule. And so far, nothing that they've been telling us is, oh, man, this is major. It's, hey, he might pitch on Thursday instead of Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I want to agree with you. Am I overly concerned per se? Not necessarily. Am I more concerned than normal? Yes. one, like I said, just Kershaw's specific situation, and two, we have seen multiple instances in the past
Yeah.
of the Dodgers not always, or at least Dave Roberts, not always nailing, injury predictions and adjusting schedules to accommodate for, just a little bit of soreness here, a little bit of soreness there.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. We find out a week later, 10 days later, actually everything was not fine. So that's what gives me kind of the pause of like, well, wait, like, is this going to end up being something more? But yes, all we can, based off Kershaw's progression, like, I don't think he would have gotten to this point if he is healthy. I know that they as much as the Dodgers have lost starting pitchers throughout the season to injuries, like, not once did they ever go to Kershaw and say, hey, Bobby Miller's actually going to be out for a longer time. We need you to accelerate this.
Yeah.
Like, they're not operating that way. And so you want to believe then that things are okay. And look, hey, maybe Kershaw just got cold feet over Reno, and this is the Dodgers' way of not fully, being dismissive of Oklahoma City playing in Reno this week and just trying to rework his schedule. Like, I don't think we could fully rule that out either.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess the best way for me to frame my thoughts is like, I think when you make your first or second rehab appearance after being out for as long as he is, I would imagine there's some gray area and some flexibility of like, hey, you might pitch again in 6 days or you might pitch again in 10 days. Like, I imagine there's some built-in flex. It just seems weird because they announced that he was going to pitch Tuesday and now it's being delayed. Where if they never told us where his next thing was going to be until after that Saturday bullpen, then maybe they say, hey, he's going to pitch at the end of next week in Reno. And everyone will be like, okay, sure. I guess that's what he's doing next. It's the fact that they announced it and then delayed it. And I understand why there's concern, but optimistic Jeff over here, choosing to be optimistic, choosing to believe that everything is going to be okay. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, is this a panic moment that they're delaying this, or, hey, it's so early in the rehab process, he's expected to make a minimum of 3 rehab starts. Who cares if the second one gets delayed a couple of days? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. That is Matthew Moreno. I am Jeff Spiegel. As always, we appreciate you joining us here on Dodger Heads. Enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you check out DodgerBlue.com. We have a full write-up on Kershaw. And, of course, follow Dodger Blue 1958 on social media, because as soon as Dave Roberts speaks to the media later today, we'll have those quotes. We'll have the update on when Kershaw is going to be pitching. Also, if he does pitch in Reno, I'll be there this week. And so we might have some exclusive video, some interviews, that kind of thing. So check that out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page as well. That is Matt. I am Jeff. Enjoy the rest of your day. As always, go Dodgers.